Look, we've all seen enough crime dramas to know the classics. Your daring bank robberies, your intricate art heists, your good old-fashioned murders in a locked room. But sometimes the real world throws a curveball so bizarre, it makes even the most outlandish fictional crime look like a trip to the grocery store. You've heard of bank heists and daring escapes, but what about a man who stole an entire beach? Or a woman who kidnapped herself for ransom money? Today, we're looking at some of the strangest crimes in history that will leave you speechless. These are crimes so profoundly odd, so mind-bogglingly stupid that you'll be left wondering if the perpetrators accidentally stumbled into a Salvador Dali painting and just decided to commit a felony while they were there. Picture this. The year is 2008. The sun is shining on the pristine beaches of Jamaica, and tourists are sipping cocktails with reckless abandon, enjoying the warm breeze and the sound of the waves crashing gently on the shore. Paradise, right? Well, not for long, because lurking in the shadows was a criminal mastermind with a truly unique ambition to steal a beach. Not just a handful of sand, mind you, but an entire beach stretching hundreds of meters, gone, vanished, like a magician's disappearing act. Our story takes place in Coral Spring, a picturesque Jamaican resort town where the sand was as white as a politician's smile during an election year and the water was as blue as, well, you get the picture. It was idyllic, until it wasn't. The crime itself was as brazen as it was baffling. Over several nights, a team of sand bandits, under the cover of darkness, snuck onto the beach with trucks and heavy machinery. They weren't there for a late-night swim, I can tell you that much. No, these crafty criminals had come to make off with the beach itself. Truckload by truckload, they hauled away the sand, leaving behind nothing but bewildered locals, confused crabs, and a whole lot of questions. Now you might be thinking, why would anyone steal an entire beach? Was it performance art? A statement on climate change? Did someone lose a bet? Or perhaps it was an elaborate prank the world may never know. But what we do know is that this wasn't just some random act of sandy larceny. This was a well-organized operation, carried out with military precision. Someone somewhere really needed that sand. The authorities, understandably perplexed, launched a full-scale investigation. They interviewed locals, scoured satellite images, and even brought in a team of geologists to examine the evidence, or lack thereof. The investigation dragged on with no leads and no suspects. The stolen sand, like the dreams of 1,000 honeymooners, vanished into thin air. The case of the stolen Jamaican beach remains unsolved to this day, a testament to the audacity of some criminals and the enduring power of a good mystery. The beach may be gone, but the intrigue it left behind continues to captivate imaginations. Now, friends, let's talk about a woman who truly took the phrase "fake it till you make it" to a whole new level. This is a tale that will make you question the lengths people will go to for money and attention. This isn't your average case of mistaken identity or a witness misremembering a face. No, this story is far more bizarre and twisted. No, this is about a woman who decided to stage her own kidnapping. A plot so intricate and audacious it could have been lifted straight from a Hollywood script, and not for any noble reason like exposing corruption or escaping a life of crime. Her motives were far more self-serving. Oh no, she did it for the oldest motive in the book. Cold, hard cash. The lure of money can make people do the most outrageous things. That's right, folks. She wanted to kidnap herself and collect the ransom money. A plan so bold it almost defies belief. Our story takes us back to 2017, to the glamorous world of New York City's elite, where the champagne flows like water and the only thing more important than money is pretending you don't care about money. The city that never sleeps, where appearances are everything. Our protagonist, let's call her Tiffany, was a socialite known for her extravagant parties, designer wardrobe, and a burning desire to maintain her lavish lifestyle. Even if it meant resorting to some rather unconventional methods, she was the epitome of high society, always in the spotlight. One day, Tiffany had a stroke of genius, or at least what passes for genius after one too many glasses of champagne. A plan that seemed foolproof in her inebriated state. She decided to stage her own kidnapping and convince her wealthy husband to pay a hefty ransom for her safe return, a scheme that would require careful planning and execution. It was a plan so audacious, so ludicrously bold, that it could only have been concocted by someone who had never actually watched a single episode of Law and Order, the kind of plan that only makes sense in the mind of someone who believes they are invincible. Tiffany's plan was simple, if not entirely well thought out. She believed she could outsmart everyone around her. She would disappear, leaving behind a few carefully staged clues to suggest foul play, and then lay low while her husband received threatening phone calls demanding a king's ransom, a classic case of misdirection. And so, Tiffany vanished. She slipped away into the night, leaving behind a trail of breadcrumbs. Her social media went dark, her phone went straight to voicemail, and her worried friends and family received frantic messages about a mysterious black van and a shadowy figure lurking in Central Park. The perfect setup for a dramatic disappearance. The news of her disappearance spread through the city faster than gossip at an Upper East Side brunch. Everyone was talking about it. The police were called, an investigation was launched, and Tiffany's distraught husband was bombarded with demands for an exorbitant sum of money in exchange for his beloved wife's safe return. The authorities were on high alert. He was beside himself with worry, convinced that his darling Tiffany had been snatched from him by some nefarious criminal mastermind. His world was turned upside down. Little did he know the criminal mastermind was lounging by a pool in Miami, sipping margaritas and congratulating herself on a job well done. She was living it up while everyone else was in a state of panic. You see, Tiffany hadn't quite thought her plan through to the end. There were flaws she hadn't anticipated. Instead of hiding out in some dingy motel room, she'd checked herself into a swanky Miami hotel under her own name, a move that would soon prove to be her undoing. And because no self-respecting socialite can resist the allure of Instagram, she documented her entire kidnapping ordeal on social media, the very platform that would betray her in the end. Chapter 3: The Great Lemon Bank Robbery. Now, let's talk about a crime so baffling, so utterly ridiculous, that it sounds like the punchline of a joke you'd hear in a bad stand-up routine. Imagine a scenario so absurd that it could only exist in the realm of comedy. This isn't a case of mistaken identity or a hilarious misunderstanding. No, this is a tale that defies logic and reason. This is about a man who attempted to rob a bank armed with nothing but a lemon. Yes, you heard that right, a lemon. Yes, you heard that right, a lemon. The kind you put in your gin and tonic, not the kind you use to hold up a bank. The kind you put in your gin and tonic, not the kind you use to hold up a bank. Our story takes us to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where a man, let's call him Barry, decided to take matters into his own hands, or rather his own fruit basket. Our story takes us to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where a man, let's call him Barry, decided to take matters into his own hands, or rather his own fruit basket. Barry, it seems, was convinced that lemon juice, when applied liberally to one's face, rendered him invisible to security cameras. Barry, it seems, was convinced that lemon juice, when applied liberally to one's face, rendered him invisible to security cameras. Where he got this idea, we may never know. Where he got this idea, we may never know. Perhaps he stumbled upon some ancient scroll while cleaning out his attic, or maybe he'd just watched Home Alone one too many times. Perhaps he stumbled upon some ancient scroll while cleaning out his attic, or maybe he just watched Home Alone one too many times. Whatever the inspiration, Barry was convinced that his lemon-based disguise would make him the Houdini of bank robbery. Whatever the inspiration, Barry was convinced that his lemon-based disguise would make him the Houdini of bank robbery. Armed with his trusty citrus accomplice and a confidence that could only be described as misplaced, Barry marched into a local bank, his face slathered in lemon juice, looking like a walking, talking salad dressing. Armed with his trusty citrus accomplice and a confidence that could only be described as misplaced, Barry marched into a local bank, his face slathered in lemon juice, looking like a walking, talking salad dressing. He approached the teller, his face contorted into what he presumably thought was a menacing grin, but in reality resembled someone who'd just bitten into a particularly sour grapefruit. He approached the teller, his face contorted into what he presumably thought was a menacing grin, but in reality resembled someone who'd just bitten into a particularly sour grapefruit. Now, you might be expecting a dramatic standoff with the police, a high-speed chase through the streets of Pittsburgh, or at the very least, a stern talking to from a bank teller. Now, you might be expecting a dramatic standoff with the police, a high-speed chase through the streets of Pittsburgh, or at the very least, a stern talking to from a bank teller. But no, what transpired was far more comical. Barry, his face dripping with lemon juice and his confidence rapidly dissolving, handed the teller a note demanding money. Barry, his face dripping with lemon juice and his confidence rapidly dissolving, handed the teller a note demanding money. The teller, understandably confused and slightly concerned for Barry's citrus-based life choices, took one look at this lemon-faced individual and burst into laughter. The teller, understandably confused and slightly concerned for Barry's citrus-based life choices, took one look at this lemon-faced individual and burst into laughter. Yes, you heard that right, laughter. Yes, you heard that right, laughter. Not screams, not gasps, but full-blown, side-splitting laughter. Not screams, not gasps, but full-blown, side-splitting laughter. The absurdity of the situation was simply too much for anyone to handle with a straight face. So there you have it, 3 crimes so bizarre, so outlandishly stupid, they make you question the very fabric of reality. A beach vanished, a socialite self-kidnapped, a bank almost robbed with a lemon. It's enough to make you want to lock your doors, throw away your fruit basket, and never leave the house again. But hey, at least we can all take comfort in knowing that no matter how bad our day is going, at least we didn't try to rob a bank with a lemon, or kidnap ourselves, or, steal an entire beach. So which of these bizarre crimes takes the cake for you? Was it the sheer audacity of the vanishing beach, the misguided ambition of the self-kidnapping socialite, or the citrusy absurdity of the lemon-wielding bank robber? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends, because everyone loves a good crime story, especially when it's so ridiculous you won't believe it actually happened.